All right. So finally, after over 2 weeks that I've been waiting in real time, it doesn't seem like that long to you if you watch the videos, because the videos came out, I think one came out and then the other one came out the next day or something like that. As I'm recording this, you haven't seen those videos yet, but yeah. YouTube is a weird thing. Anyway, in real time for me, after, I think it was like 2 weeks and 2 days or something like that, I finally took delivery of the new buildings. So now the next part of that process will begin, because I couldn't start yesterday because we had a really bad wind and dust storm come through, to the point where we couldn't even be outside because sand and everything would go in your nose and down your throat and everything else, and pretty much make you where you couldn't breathe. So the wind has died down today. Hopefully it stays that way long enough for me to get the work done, because I have a ton of work to do now that the buildings are here. And once I finish moving everything from this building to the other building, then I'll add that to this video. Alright, Pick and Vegas and Beyond. I don't know why I'm saying that when I'm just going to add it to the other video that I recorded. So, there was also something that I forgot to mention. If you have a building or buildings, in my case, make sure you kind of pay attention to what's going on, because when I took delivery of the buildings, I discovered that homeless people have been living in my buildings, because I found all their stuff, like personal information, like a stack of mail, there's cigarettes, and a bunch of other crap. So, yeah, I just wanted to say that if you have any buildings, you might want to pay attention to what's going on, because there were homeless people living in my buildings before they were brought to me. So basically, I took someone's home without even realizing it. I didn't know that homeless people were living in the buildings that I bought. You live and you learn, I guess. But anyway, just pay attention and make sure you keep doors locked, because when they were at the company's lot, they were always unlocked so people can go and look at them and stuff like that. And that is how the homeless people ended up living in them, because they knew that they were left unlocked. And not only that, the guy who runs the place was only there if you made an appointment, because he's lazy and he's an asshole, and I will never do business with him again because of the attitude he had when I went over there. So yeah, he I needed the buildings, but at the same time, I would rather build them myself if I'm going to have to deal with the kind of attitude he had. I mean, when I was looking at the buildings, it was okay. Once I went inside to do the paperwork, all of a sudden his attitude completely changed and he started trying to come up with any excuse he could not to let me get the buildings. So, yeah. And I'm not the only one who's had a bad experience with that guy. So I don't know why corporate keeps allowing him to be the dealer. Because that's really all he is a local dealer for the corporate company. He's not the one who actually owns the company. But that's how he tries to, he tries to act like he owns the company or something. He tries to come up with any kind of bullshit excuse he possibly can to prevent people from getting a building. Despite the fact that the company specifically states that type of thing is, they don't do that. They don't judge people. They don't, treat people the way he does. But he does, no matter what they tell him. I don't think he'll, even if corporate tells him to stop doing that, he won't, because he thinks he owns the company. And I think that's part of the reason he's like that is because he's so goddamn old. He just has that attitude like a lot of old people have. When you get to a certain age, you stop caring. And you just think you have a right to treat people like crap. And that's how he is.